Hey guys, what's going on? Jet Black here from the Secret Hideout, and today we're going to take something like this
I am a MetaHuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine.
and turn it into something like this.
I am a MetaHuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine.
What up? So recently I was asked to do a tutorial, which is a bit different for me because I'm not the tutorial guy. I've tutored people and I've taught motion graphics classes, but I don't make tutorials. But I had a few people ask me, so it, here we go. Okay, so back on April 14th, 2021, early access to the MetaHumans creator became available for everyone. And I mean everyone. Everyone was downloading that thing at the same time. So I think for maybe about 2 hours or so, Epic Games broke the internet because everybody that I knew that was in VFX or games or animation was downloading these MetaHumans because they wanted to check out the hype. Right after I downloaded it, my buddy out in the Bronx, Romeo615 Video, check out his page over at Facebook. It's the Urban Virtual Production page. Go check him out. Anyway, he and I were tripping out on the MetaHumans, and we were already thinking about like how can we tweak these and customize them and make them our own. I figured, hey, at the end of the day, these are just 3D objects, right? And all 3D objects have a material and a texture. So I figured if I could find the textures, then I can already tweak them out and customize them. And that's what I did. I ended up digging through all the folders in Unreal. I found the textures, brought them into Photoshop, did a little photo editing magic on them, and bing bang boom, this is what I came up with.
I am a MetaHuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine.
So after I did that video, I ended up pushing forward and I thought to myself, how can I tweak this out even more? I ended up making a zombie, which is what you saw at the very beginning of this video, and posted it on YouTube, and people actually kind of thought it was cool. And I was asked how it was done. Okay, so I know that you're not here to hear me talk about myself, so let's just jump right on in, okay? If you want to follow along with me, what I'm going to be working on is the MetaHuman sample project that's found in the Unreal Launcher. So first off, go download that. Secondly, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to download some gross textures. I mean, it's a zombie, right? We need to grossify the face by adding a bunch of, I don't know, really gross textures. What I ended up doing was I ended up looking for zombie skin, rotting meat, skin ulcers, and cracked paint. You'll get the cracked paint in a little bit. So go ahead and download a whole bunch of textures, and then we'll come back and do the thing. Okay, so the steps we're going to do is we're going to find the textures for this project file in Unreal. We're going to dig through all the folders and find those. Actually, I'll tell you exactly where they are. We're going to edit those textures in Photoshop, and we're going to make a texture map and a normal map. Then we're going to replace those three files, and I say three because we're going to do the skin, the teeth, and then the eyes. And then bing bang boom, you got yourself a MetaZombie. Okay, so I'm assuming that you went ahead and downloaded the MetaHumans. Great. Now what we're going to do here is, these are just some of the images that I ended up looking for in my texture search. First off, I looked for skin ulcers. Now this is just a plethora of yummy, oozy grossness. We've got open pussy sores. We've got all kinds of stuff here. We've got Edis Ramitis. We've got, I don't know, just all manner of skin ulcers, right? And I think that this one over here is actually a very good one. I'm going to use that today. I also went over to Shutterstock and I purchased this image. This image is rotten meat seamless. So if that's something you want to do to follow along with me, I will be using this. I also ended up getting from there peeling paint images. Yeah, okay, so that's something that we'll be using, is we'll be using these textures to do the skin. All right, bitchin'. Now, moving on to Unreal. So what we want to do right now is we want to find the textures. and I know that the textures are in the sample MetaHuman folder. So we're going to double click on that. And I also know that the female, which is what we're going to be working on, is MetaHuman 001. So we're going to double click on that. And then what I like to do is I like to double click on the MetaHuman 001 blueprint. Double clicking on that will launch the MetaHuman blueprint window. We want to come up over here to the viewport so that way we could see our MetaHuman. What I like to do then is I like to go ahead and click on the face here or here, but click on the face. And what that does is on the right hand side it loads up the mesh and the materials. Okay, so if we want to get to this material, because you figure the material has the texture, we click on the magnifying glass here and it will take us, boom, right over to the materials. So now we can close this window, and here we are in the material head window. Right next to it there's a texture folder. So let's go ahead and open that up. In the texture folder we're going to come up with the different LODs for the face. I like to go at LOD 5. I go ahead and pop that open, and we can see here that this is the base color texture at LOD 5. Okay, it's got a nice UV layout, and what we want is we want this texture to mess around with to zombify. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this face base color LOD 5, and what happens is you get this pop-up window, and in this contextual window we're looking for asset action. Under asset action you're going to go ahead and export this. Went ahead and let's save this to wherever you're going to save it. I'll end up saving it to the zombie tutorial, and I'll make a folder OG textures. That way I know, if I could only type textures, that way I know that this is the original files. We want to save that. Okay, that's great. Now also I like having two content browsers open because it's easier for me to work. So in my second content browser I'm going to go to sample MetaHumans, MetaHuman 01. I'm going to double click on this again, click on face. Let's go ahead and find the eyes. So I'm going to do a click on the magnifying glass to find the eyeballs. Again, I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to find the base color by double clicking here under base color, use the magnifying glass, and I'm going to export this guy again. So second verse, same as the first. We're going to go to asset action, we're going to go to export, and we're going to export it here. Cool. So far we've got the eyes and we've got the skin. The last thing we're going to need is the teeth. So we're going to find the teeth material by using the magnifying glass, going to the teeth, double clicking on it. We're going to go ahead and double click here on this little parent of the teeth. Let's go to hierarchy, teeth. Yay, look, a big nest of spaghetti. I'm sure there's an easier way to find this, but I don't know what it is. What I like to do is I will look under the base color, and in the base color I zoom in, and ooh, if you can't zoom in anymore, hold down Control and zoom in. So I see this is what I want. I'm going to click on this. Over here on the right side we'll find it this way, and boom, there's what I need. This is what I need. That is what I need. Okay, so we're going to do it again. Right click, we're going to go to asset actions, we're going to export it, we're going to export it back into the OG texture file, and there is our teeth. Okay, now that we have all of our textures, we're going to bring them into Photoshop, and in Photoshop we're going to go ahead and zombify them. Alright? Okay, in Photoshop what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my OG texture folder, and I'm going to open up the first texture, which is going to be the base texture. Alright, with my base layer opened, what I like to do is I like to start grossing it up a little bit. So I'm putting this texture that I got from Shutterstock over it, and I'm going to enlarge it. Okay, that's okay. I'm going to right click over here and I'm going to rasterize the layer. I'm then going to take the opacity and drop it down a little less than half so that way I can see the image below it. And let's just try that. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous and easy, but let's do this. In the zombie tutorial, not in the OG folder, I'm going to make a new texture folder. New textures. Clickety click. Ooh, I got a new clickety clickety keyboard. And we're going to save this here as, I know this is a Targa. And we're going to save it with the exact same name because that is really important. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to close this window, and we're going to find the MetaHumans again. So we go to Sample MetaHumans, MetaHuman 01. We're going to double click on this. We'll put the viewport here, and let's position this so we could see it. Under the skin, we're going to double click this. Let's find this. Okay, and I'm going to drag that texture that I have in here, and it's going to replace this face base color. Drag and drop. Great. And I'm just going to save it by hitting Control S. And then I'm going to drag it. I'm going to drag it into all of them. I'm not going to take the time to make LODs because that's not what this is about. This is about, we're already seeing some good grossness. This is about trying to see what we can do to make a zombie. So, put this down, and look, we have a zombie. Isn't that neat? What I would like to do is I would like to make some darker circles underneath the eyes, or make the eyes darker, make darker here. I want to go ahead and put that wound up on the forehead, and we'll see what we can do to kind of punch this up some more. Alright, okay, so we're here at about 33% with the gross texture. We're going to call this the gross layer. Add another layer, and we're going to call this dark circles. Hit B for brush, thin this out, and let's see how that looks. Drop the opacity to half, Control Shift S, save this as a Targa, not in the OG folder, in the new texture, and we're just going to keep replacing this texture until we come up with something we like. Okay, drag that in here. There we go. That's a bit much. It's good to know though. Alright, back into Photoshop. That's that so far. Let's go ahead, and this is all going to be subjective. This is all to taste, right? So let's go ahead and add that ulcer. There's a lot of really good stuff here. I'm going to shrink this down just a bit. Ew, gross. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to rasterize this layer, and then I want to erase out all of this stuff here. Control L for levels. Let's see if we can just get it kind of closer and matchy. Oh, all right. We're getting more. We're getting there. And then I will use the dodge and burn dodge tool, and I will make some of these highlights grosser and wetter. Yeah, and you're going to go through this whole thing and you're going to do this to taste, however you see fit. Maybe in here we want to add a yellow fatty layer. Right? And what I would do here is I would use the eye, and I would take eye to sample that, and I would, I don't know, let's see if we could find some, are there any brushes in here that could help us out? General brushes. How about something that's, you know, a little bit of fatty tissue here and there, just to see. I mean, this is all going to be up to you and how you want to do this, right? You could even, if you wanted to, take that skin ulcer, duplicate it, hit Control T and transform it, and come somewhere, maybe like the cheekbone. Let's call this the cheekbone. Right, let's hide this gross layer just for a minute. Bring it down here on the chin. Twist it. Hit transform, right click, use the warp. Do some other stuff to it to make it look a little different. Warp the hell out of it. Make it look, drop it, new. Look at that. Already we're getting like more zombie stuff. Okay, and this is all going to be, let's just hit the sequencer and play this.
I am a MetaHuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine. MetaHumans are high-fidelity digital characters created by you.
Hey, that's pretty good. So far, so good. Let's see. You know, you can go on and do some more stuff to this. But let's do eyes. So, you could just go here, click M for the marquee tool, get it in the center. Okay. I'm going to fill that layer with a color like, I don't know, sky blue. Alright, I selected that by clicking on the swatch. I will hit Alt and Shift. There you go. Control D to deselect. I'm going to mess around with some opacity modes. Alright, screen. Drop the opacity. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the marquee tool, hit Shift and Alt again, and I'm going to delete that. There you are. Let's hope this works. Let's save that as a target file. We'll save it in the new texture. Boom. Yes. Let's go over to the MetaHuman. We will find the eyeball. Let's look for that eyeball. Double click on it. And let us, in the eye materials, drop in the new eyeball. Come on, computer. Drop this in here. Save all. Yes. And I'm going to drop that in the color. Okay, so now we've got some blue eyes there. We can even select this guy and drop that there. There you go. Getting more and more with the zombie. Okay, so far so good. I've done enough Photoshop editing, texture editing. I've to my liking, right? I've added more of the ulcers. I made them look like there was bone protruding underneath. Now there's one more thing that I want to do just to see how it looks. I am going to try one thing that we pulled earlier that I didn't get a chance to use. It was the paint. There was a white wall, and there was also this painted wall. Ooh. So we'll do it one at a time. So this painted wall, we're just doing this for testing purposes. We're just going to see what this looks like. Put this up here, just see how it looks. Maybe do something like that. You'll get the idea of what this is going to do. Okay, and then we'll do something like, we'll do a cool blended mode. I'm kind of liking that. This is just going to be, we're just going to see how this looks. This is just for testing purposes. We're almost done here. Alright, we'll save this out. You see what it's doing there? It's adding cracks to the skin to make it look as though the skin is cracking and gnarly and old. And I'm going to try the painted wall. See how that looks. Ooh. Gross. Oh, that looks really hamburger. Let's see what this looks like. Maybe it might be a little too hamburger. Maybe it might be overkill. Sometimes subtlety is worth its weight in dead zombies. Dead zombies. That was kind of redundant. You know, as opposed to the live zombies. Okay, let's try this one. Oh, hello. It's not bad. It's not bad. Let's see it in motion.
I am a MetaHuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine. MetaHumans are high-fidelity digital characters created by you, the user, on our new...
That is pretty cool. I think it's over much, though. I think it's a bit much. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that. I've desaturated it a bit, and I think I'm going to go with something a bit more subtle. In saving this out as a targa, that is the new skin texture. Okay, so what I want to do now is create a normal map. So what that's going to do is it's going to give the texture map a bit of height, and it's going to give it a little more depth, just to see how cool that is. I'm going to duplicate. I've grouped everything, duplicated it, put it in a folder, and now Command E, I'm going to flatten it. I'm going to come up to Filter, 3D, generate a normal map. Come on, baby, do your thing. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Photoshop is going to think, and it's going to create a normal map for us to bring into Unreal to give our MetaHuman skin, our zombie skin, a little bit of height and depth. No? It's doing its thing. Ooh. There you go. There you go. Alright, I like this. Do we invert the height? Yeah, let's try inverting that height. Let's say OK. Now I want to save this as a targa in our new textures, and this is going to be our normal map. And that's going to be a targa. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to come back into Unreal and we need to find the normal map for this. Dun dun dun. Alright, so let's see if we could find this again. We're going to double click on this. Blueprint. Hello, zombie. We're going to double click on the head. Face. I'm going to double click on this here. Ew. Ew. Scroll down. And here are the normal maps. All these different normal maps. Okay, so now what we need to do is I need to find where these guys are at. Head normal map. That's what I want to call it. Copy that. I'm going to take our normal map and I'm going to rename it. Okay. I'm going to drag this into here. And I'm going to save it. And let's see what we get. Okay, party people, I have to apologize. I showed you how to make a normal map and where to put the normal map, but I didn't show you how to use the normal map. So let's focus on that because this really makes the skin pop for all intent and purpose. So we went ahead and we took these normal maps here and we dragged them into these slots. In fact, I'll do it now. Just no problem. We're going to put this normal map in each and every slot. Okay, done. Now, remember, these normal maps are found in the material, and these are the texture channels for the color, right? This is the skin. Moving down, we're going to go down to the normal maps. Here they all are. And you really don't see much of a difference here. She's going to look a little different because she's already a finished product. It just dawned on me that I didn't show you how to do the normal maps. So she's going to look a little bit different right now than she will later on in the tutorial. Anyway, so we have the normal maps here. Starting from the top, this is what I'm going to do. I go to micro normal intensity. I'll bump that up from a 0.5 to a 5. Okay, you already see that something happened here. You can see without it, with it. I hope you can see that. Without it, with it. I mean, you can even be a lot more heavy-handed. This is entirely up to you. You could put it up to a 10. Okay, let's just leave it at 10 for now. Moving on down this list here, I want you to note that the normal intensity is set to 1.13. Let's go ahead and put that up to a 5. Do you see the difference? You can see that there are ridges and crevices are really starting to pop. You can see here that this skin flap looks really good. You're getting a shadow here. These look so much more lively. I'll do a before and after right now. Here's a before. Here's an after. It looks totally different. I also go down here and I'll mess with the global roughness just to, just so it catches some light different. I'll bring it down to maybe, I don't know, a 0.5. 0.5. Okay, that's just me. Now this is to your liking, to your taste. You could bump it up even more. Here's the normal at 10. And that looks a bit too much. I'll bring it back down to 5. You may like it lower. It's entirely up to you. Anyway, this is how you use the normal maps, and you'll be able to see the difference between the before and after. It really makes it pop. Sorry about that. My bad. Moving on. All right. So that's pretty much it. We've covered the eyes. We've covered the skin. The last thing we need to do is work on her grill.
I am a MetaHuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine.
All right. So we've seen this before. Nothing new. We're going to open up the OG folder and take out the teeth color map. Open that in Photoshop, and that's what we get. So now this is fairly simple and straightforward. here we are back in Shutterstock. I'm going to look up dirt and mud. Let's see if you can come up with something. Alright, so what is this? This is old wallpaper texture background. Let's do that. I quite like this. Let me download it. Confirm and download. And we'll call this one Cheatses. Alright. So back to Photoshop. All we're going to do is a little something like this. Sure, why not? Let's give that a shot. Duplicate it. Bring it over. In fact, I will flip it horizontally. Cool. And let's do it one more time. Cool. Now you may say, Jet, how does this work? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. Save this. Teeths. Teeth color map. Sweet. Okay. Let's go back and find MetaHuman 1 here. Opens up this window. We want to find teeth. Do that. Double click on you. Gotta make this easier. Double click on you. And there you are. Let's swap that out with that teeth color map. Save all. Okay. Hello, darling. Why don't you show me your pearly browns?
Powered by Unreal Engine. MetaHumans are high-fidelity digital characters created by you, the user.
So there you go. We got rid of her pearly whites. We just mucked them all up. That's not bad. All in all, that's how our zombie looks. Okay, this is pretty much it. This is the MetaHuman zombie tutorial, and this is exactly what I did the first time. We've switched out the skin, right? So now her skin is really gross and kind of dried out. We've got some openings here where you can see some skull, nose bone, you can see the chin, a little bit of the cheekbone here. The teeth are all gnarled, probably from like bits of dried blood and brain. The eyes are slowly dying out. I did that by changing the color in the eyeball texture, and I messed around with the eyeball material a little bit, just sliding some sliders around to cloud that up. And this is exactly what I did the first time around. I hope this helps you. Do me a favor, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. If you have any concerns, post them in the comments. If you have any comments, guess what? Post them in the comments. I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. This is going to be the first tutorial that I've done, so please be nice. Anyway, this is it. I hope you liked it. I think it's okay, but at the end of the day, what do I know? This is Jet Black from the Secret Hideout saying peace.
I am a MetaHuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine. MetaHumans are high-fidelity digital characters created by you, the user, on our new content creation platform, MetaHuman Creator. I am fully rigged, ready for animation and motion capture, allowing you to work in context. With everything running live in Unreal Engine, my motion works seamlessly.